you want to test your crane mount, is with yourself on it. It's time to upgrade my service truck. Fuck it, I'm just gonna build my own. Yeah. How much am I gonna get hit in the face with this?
Now what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, put the wheels on it and set her on the ground. Oh, I hear creaking. I hear creaking. How sagged out is the Ford right now? Yeah, it's very accessible like this. You can just step right in it. Are you cross-threading? I'm just gonna say no. That's fine. I think we can let her down. Yeah. Oh yeah, you want your chain slapping your settling bottle when you're going down the road. We put the IDI away too soon. That's good noises. I'm not about to get hit in the face with some wood. I might be. Aww.
Oh, that sounded so bad there.
It's just some splintering. There, that's safe. Oh. Oh. There she goes. Probably could have seen that one coming, but I really couldn't. I don't think about shit. We're big time right now. Just make sure you don't bump nothing, okay? This is nice grabbing under here. I'm gonna lose both my arms if shit's gonna fall off. Oh. I do too. Probably not. Well, you try getting this shit on there when it. There. My wheels might get here before me. I forgot to add oil. Dually furred. Just add flatbed and all the other shit. Alright, so now she's got new tires on her. Did the rear brake lines because I couldn't get them off. Took one of the dually wheels off so I could get the IDI closer to it. And now I'm gonna see if I can't lift her off there. Something's definitely gonna come off here. It's either gonna be this bed, that bed, or that crane. I don't have a skid steer, and the three buddies that would help me with this are on the boat. It's kind of funny how the people that are least likely to own a boat are the ones that are on a boat the most. But what I do have is a IDI powered engine hoist. There. Time to find the fuck out. There she goes. She's dangling. Yeah, that should move right out. If not, if you hear crunching, if I hear crunching, it's probably still gonna come off. Sweet. Careful. Hey. Come on. Come on. Now now this is not, oh no. There. That's beautiful. Yeah, ask me how much I care about this. Damn. Alright, fenders are built, lights are on. Time to drive to Ohio. Over the past, I would say, year or so, I've seen one flatbed on Marketplace. It's Ford made, it's from the 70s, it's not for sale, but the day I put the rear axle under this, I'm on Marketplace, I see this really just shitty looking wood top flatbed on like a newer Ford. There was one picture, really just shitty picture of the back of the bed with the Ford emblem stepped into it and the same rivet pattern as the one I want. And I was like, God damn. That's the one I've been looking for. Fenders. And they're still on there. It's about 3 feet too long, but that's fine. I can cut that down. And then I have enough materials to build mounts for it. So, driving to Ohio, picking up that bed. Alright, how long does that thing need to be?
As wide as your frame.
See, I would have never thought I would need this saw. Clamp her down with some U-bolts and some ratchet straps, and then you'll hear about the news how some family of 4 got turned into a family of 1 because their minivan got hit by a flatbed. Just came out of nowhere. Alright, well that was, but there she is. Turns out the frame rails on this thing are way too narrow because in 78, and I knew that, I just was optimistic, they had 2 frame widths, you know. There was a 34, which is what this is, and then there was a 37 and a half or whatever, which is what my truck is. It's not going to let diesel through, but it's not going to. This is going to need a lot of fabrication, have proper welds on it, mounts on it, but that's alright. I know it looks like shit right now, but just wait until I'm done with it. This is going to be sweet. Alright, now get me out of here. Now watch this absolute trail of dust that I'm leaving. You know Pigpen? Yeah, that's what it's looking like back there. If Roadkill hadn't already named their truck Pigpen, wouldn't be a bad name, but it's taken and I don't name shit anyway. Alright, made her home in one piece. Might be missing some wood there, I don't know where that went. I think I figured out how to shorten her. I'm going to take this part and move it further forward. There's definitely better ways to do this, but not easier ways. There. So not only do I have an IDI powered engine hoist, I also have an IDI powered acetylene cart. You know, somebody definitely taught me how to use a torch, so I'm real good with it. This guy put a left-hand thread to right-hand thread adapter on here, so that you think you're unscrewing the regulator, you might also be unscrewing the whole valve off the bottle. Alright, time to weld this thing back on there.
You could have something really, really nice.
I don't want something really, really nice. I want this. Alright. Ooh, how did I manage to cut both of them crooked? Yeah, that's where all the wood fell out. The mud flap's on fire. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely, you know, 10 out of 10 Instagram welds. How many holes do these gloves have? The only reason I ground this off is so I could see how bad it actually is. I'm gonna let my frustration out on these marker lights that I'm definitely not gonna use. Oh, those are pretty tough. Because I'm gonna close this and just weld it up. There. No more sport mirrors. No more chrome grill. Way better. Alright, well, it's time to build mounts for that bed. Let's see how badly I can f up. That's a cut. I'm pretty proud of that. Well, there they all are. Now just, you know, fit them, mark where they need holes and where this and that needs holes, and then just, you know, have the bed fly off anyway. How else am I gonna make it on the news? Well, what's gonna give up first? The balance on the jack, the wood on the bed, or the bed itself? There you go, it's already off. We were, of course, being Home Depot, and Home Depot being absolute shit. They were out of all the grade 8 washers. Oh yeah, I put these in the wrong way. That I actually needed. So I only got as many grade 8 washers as they had. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of bad things to be said about this way of mounting a flatbed that's gonna have a probably 3,200 pound crane on it. But I'm not here to hear it. Got that on there, which is a piece of Harbor Freight trailer hitch, because that's cheaper than to get the actual material. Tack that in, take it out, weld it around, put it back in, and then weld it to the I-beam. And do all that, you know, right over the fuel tank, whatever. But that's what that street sign is for. Alright, well, everything's mounted now and welded on. And if, you know, for some reason all 6 spots where it's welded come apart, I still got these U-bolts holding everything together. So now picked up a piece of diamond plate, try and burn that in. Holy f, that heavy. And this is just 1/8 inch. Before I get back to working on that, little preventative maintenance on the IDI. It's kind of weird. Anytime I do an oil change on either of these, by the time I'm done, there's like nothing in the catch can. I don't know where all my oil goes. But you know, I never have to drop it off anywhere. It's a mystery. All right, back to this. So diamond plates welded on. and while I wait for the next piece of diamond plate to come up for sale on Marketplace, because that's pretty much the only way you can get materials these days, I feel like. You would hope that this would be temporary, but that's probably not temporary. Started cutting out shit for the front bumper. Yes, it's going to be nice having something to stand on. In reality, I just think that this is going to look cool. Bit of a because I didn't put my template on the right side, so this side is just not going to be diamond plate. Well, it is going to be diamond plate, but it's just going to be on the bottom. I'm not even going to try if this closes right now, because I already know it won't. Yeah, she'll do. It's a little bit crooked. Should have noticed that. One of the flaps closes. I'm not upset about this. Alright, well I can't run my stick welder anymore, so I'm going to go back to using the Shrek Nugget. Got these last couple plates on there. And of course I have just not enough for the last 2.5 inches there. Could be, you know, some jokes made there, but never mind. Kind of ran out of give right about there, and there, and really there. Time to put some toolboxes on and chain racks. God damn it, who parked this Dodge so goddamn close? Alright, so it's been a couple months. Did a bunch of shit that I didn't really want to film, like toolboxes, chain racks, a saddling mount, welders on there. And before I get to working on this, I'm just gonna do a little cold start. It's not really a cold start, but it's enough of a cold start to where the thing is definitely gonna struggle to start and be an absolute smoke show. There you go. I was kind of expecting the IPR to fix this, and I'm kind of glad it didn't. Now it's time to install a crane on this, and I had one really shitty idea which is not going to work, and now I have a second really shitty idea which is probably also not going to work, but I'm going to try anyway. Got my nice little box for all my welding and my settling stuff. Added a bunch of little that just make life so much easier when you're actually working on this shit. You know, got lights on there now, which of course aren't hooked up in the slightest, because I don't feel like doing wiring right now. Already got the welding rods for the rest of the thing. The crane plate right there. Well, all right, plate is cut out. Scoot that onto there. Well, it's cold and shitty out. It's gonna be dark in like 5 minutes. This thing has been rallied around in the rain for the past month. Getting wet and rusty and just covered in shit. Perfect time to start welding the crane mount together. Also, you want all that cardboard right there, because how else is anything gonna catch on fire? Does she still weld? Bam, 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 bam. Bro, I would laugh so hard if this, if the bottom thing just fell out. That light's definitely not been on fire more than 2 times. What are you saying? I need fucking clearance? Oh, it's not off at all. It's like I measured this. Oh yeah, is that a tight hole? And you got a fire! On a marketplace deal on a crane. Guy doesn't have a way to load it, so I had to unload all my junk. I mean my precious materials out of the IDI because I need to use the hoist. By what chance do you think that it's in Ohio again? Like pretty much everything I built these things out of. Steve! Are you Steve? I think your owner is missing you.
Hold on. There we go. Let's pass. Tire right here. Ratchet strap to the side. What would it do?
You're a cutie. Don't lick the motor all off my fingers. Alright, so the guy didn't know what kind of crane this is. I didn't know what kind of crane this is. Turns out it's a 3200 series crane, which is 650 pounds instead of the 350 pounds I thought I was going to put on that truck. No idea how this thing lifted it, unless every single system on this thing is still made a decent deal. No idea if it works. All of this looks really promising. Before I mount it, I want to turn the base clockwise so that the boom doesn't hit my welder. This thing is like scabbed together in places. Maybe it got hit there because there's a dent right here, so maybe this got hit and that broke off and then they just welded it back on. So I'm going to hook it up to the negative of the pump and to the positive, which is coming out the bottom of the crane. See if something starts happening. I'm ready for disappointment. Yeah, okay, I figured. Come on over. Well, I didn't mean that much. So how I think this thing works is you got a pump. The rotation is also hydraulic, and so you got a height. This is an electric motor. I take that back. So I guess how this thing works. This thing has two motors. I thought it just had a pump. So you got one motor here, which has 3 cables going to it that are all black. Guessing this is a gearbox and this is a hydraulic motor. Man, can you shut the f in your... And that's a winch. Well, where's the turn motor? Is this the turn motor? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, so this is the hydraulic motor that turns the thing. The first valve is probably turning thing. How do I manually override this valve? Alright, so apparently you can manually override these valves, and they have plungers here. Oh, okay. Did that move? That's not good. Nope. Haha! And definitely up, but I can rotate the fucking base like this.
What are you doing?
I bought a crane for the big truck. Ask me if it's working.
Oh, I know it's not working.
I'm sure that little thing, that little cable tie is loving life right now. Alright, where's the hole? I don't get to ask that question a lot. Actually, I'm lying. I kind of do. Time to install this thing. Which means that I have to clean off all my... Ugh. Yo, this is where it starts being really not rated.
I'm getting a service bed.
It's not. You're gonna take the weight off of it.
Well, it's zip tied.
Even better. Pop the hood.
Yeah, pop the hood. So I'm really drunk right now, and it's raining, and there's 2 half-inch bolts in that crane.
Ooh, is that a power wire?
No, that's a starter wire. This is the wire. This right here, this is the hot guy. Like, that's hot. Man, why is it gotta be really raining right now and all I'm wearing is a hood and everything is the fuck here? Okay, well, I guess these ratchet straps are just gonna be part of this whole disaster. Nah, we're just gonna jump the pump. Other shit. I'm not even fucking those solenoids. So if I push this in, we don't actually know which direction is what. It doesn't say.
Oh, right here.
Well, that says left and right. What does that do?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say shit.
This has never been over. These buttons are... Let's just see what this does. There you go.
Oh, shit.
Alright, well, what's the bottom one? The bottom one's going to be this winch,
Yeah.
I guess. I'm guessing.
I don't
Then what is the extending boom thing? Where's that at?
I think that's up in here.
Nah, that's all. That should also be a valve. Oh, that's this. This is where the thing gets like excited. Hit in the face with something. Yeah, there she goes. She's extending. Nice.
It's pulling the cable tight.
Yeah, it's pulling the cable a little bit, but you don't even worry about that cable. Is what Peg would say.
So the cable.
The cable is
runs all
definitely bunged all the up in there. I don't know what controls the cable.
This.
Oh, that? Nah, well, that's for everything. That's technically, technically you're not supposed to short out the valves and actually run it with something.
Huh.
I don't want to run the battery all the way. The IDI is going to need that.
Fair. You gotta spin me around.
Well, I'm going to spin you around, buddy. Hold up. So I got to think of, I'm just going to see what does what. I'm going to say this one does the spinny thing. I think you got to sing the wrecking ball song. Oh, I think I'm lifting you. This one. Oh! Oh yeah! Woo! I came in like a wrecking ball. Hey, set me on the roof.
Okay.
I want to go on the roof. Alright, so the crane kind of works now. It's all set up. It's not hooked up to the battery right now, but just trust me, it works. And now I need outriggers for it so it doesn't go all IDI on me. And there's my outriggers. 5,000 pound trailer jacks. I did some very wrong calculations with like the angles and the levers and the weight of the truck and this, that, and the other, and it came out to these things being about 1,000 pounds overloaded. So that means we're good. Alright, so those guys don't really want me welding here right now. So, I'm gonna find out how much of a mobile welding rig this thing is and take it down the road. Is any of this shit gonna fly off? I'm just gonna say no, because I really don't feel like moving any of this. That'll be fine. Train tracks. Triple caution, stay center. loves it. Out of there, holy Christ. How are these that entangled? That outrigger is going to be perfectly fine like that. And all that water dripping on you while you're welding, that's real good. You know, you basically have a choice. You have grease fire or electric shock. Or if you're me, you're probably going to end up with both. Alright, so here's what's going on. Outriggers are mounted. Looks a little goofy, but should work just fine. This side just swings in like that because that's just how I could mount it. And I started to address the whole hitch situation, which was originally down there under the frame and just way too low. Would have got hung the and so I decided to flip it 180 degrees and put it inside the frame rails. And in the process, the rear tank got fucked, which is fine because the previous owner told the previous owner that he didn't know what was in that tank. So it's definitely a bunch of paint there that's coming out of there. So that's fine. What's not fine is the fact that I also chopped up the rear cross member to get the hitch in there. And then I thought about it again, and then I was like, if you got 1,000 pounds worth of cranes and welders and shit just behind the rear axle, you might want a rear cross member. I don't know what Peg would say. He might say not to worry about it. But now my hitch is gonna be my rear cross member, and in order to have the hitch do rear cross member things, I'm gonna have to make sure that it's not just connected at the bottom to the frame, but also at the top. So I'm gonna weld some brackets in there and punch some rivets out and bolt it to the top of the frame. And it fucked out again. So all the materials I need, yeah, they're under there. Picked up this really, really nice pintle hitch. So yeah, never see that again. See? This is just going to be my workbench for the day because it's the only thing that's not covered in ice. Well, sometimes your hand just gets forced. I've been meaning to drain that tank for a while, and now the grinder did it for me. Alright, so the rivets are punched out, should be enough room. Tank is definitely not having a good time. Pretty sure I'm wearing half of what was in it. Time to test fit. Whoa, it's almost like I measured this. When it comes to measuring stuff, I am definitely well prepared. I got a ruler and a welding rod for scratching. Safety. And just look at this inclusive setup. You got the mud flap for safety so I don't shock myself, so OSHA is included. And then you got the rainbows on the ground. Everybody's included. Shrek Nugget is here too. It's a party, except Dodge. Dodge, you're not invited. For a $100 welder that's sitting in a puddle, that thing welds pretty good. So here's what's going on. The hitch is mounted in there, flipped around, got all the ground clearance, and now I'm building something that resembles a hitch plate but actually isn't a hitch plate. just like this 7018 rod resembles a hitch pin. And that's this thing. Started working on this last night, and then it started raining. And somehow a breaker was popped when I was welding this. I don't know how that happened. It's just beyond me. Like, this is such a pristine work environment with no risk of any breakers popping ever. Because, you know, you have these mud flaps that are covered in snow, and then you turn them around and all of a sudden everything's just perfect. Look at how dry that is. Yeah, so what this thing is gonna do, it's gonna get attached to the I-beams, and it's gonna sit behind the hitch. So I can still pull the actual pintle hitch, which is rated for 26,000 pounds, which is what you need with a truck that has a 8800 sticker. Yeah, so it's gonna sit between these I-beams and behind the hitch. So when I, you know, try and yank something up with it, because I have a lot of plans for this truck, it's gonna pull on both the bed, which is mounted to the frame on those 6 5/8 bolts, and on the hitch, which is also doing cross-member things, but which is also mounted to the frame. So it's gonna be pretty strong. It's gonna be stronger than just the hitch and just the bed itself. And it also has the benefit that I can leave the hitch in and just pull the pin out and keep it attached to the plate with just one bolt or something. And then when I get hit, which happens a lot here in Pittsburgh, when I get hit and, you know, a little white, this is strictly hypothetical, and a white Jeep Cherokee is yelling at me, this hitch, which identifies as a cross member, and like a lot of things that identify as something, it's very sensitive. I don't want that getting, I don't want to mess with that again. So I can leave the hitch in, and it'll just slide in there, and all the impact gets transferred onto this. And yeah, nobody's feelings get hurt, except that lady's feelings. Those things are in. Now I just got to do that on the other side. How the f happened?
Maybe it's the other one.
Nah, like these are completely different sizes. It's like, was I drinking when I was doing this? God damn it.
And it works perfectly on the other side.
It's coming up a little bit short. Just like me. There. Putting on some nice bias plies. And looking at the way that jack is bent and twisted, I'm not entirely sure if it's rated for this. It's probably as sick of the crane as the rest of the truck is sick of the crane, but it's just, that's what's on there now. Something just occurred to me, and that is that, number one, this bumper takes away a lot of approach angle, and number two, it looks like fucking garbage. See, you might think that it looks like shit now, but just wait until I'm done with it. I want to make it so much worse. Alright, now, things with the landlord have gotten even worse, so I can't do nothing on the property anymore. I gotta do everything outside. So I'm building a lead extension for the little welder, so that I can reach around the truck, finish that bumper. Perfect. Of course I didn't have any actual lead, so I'm just using a power cord for the crane that came with the crane. It might have a couple gashes in it, but that way you can just weld two spots at the same time. It just saves you time, you know. It's like there's Texas TIG, and then there's I don't know. Pittsburgh arcing out the wire to the rest of the truck welding. Alright, hit the red, and it's snowing again. Oh, you gotta see this smoky mess. Oh. Idle's pretty nice though, you know. If you run her long enough to warm her up, which, of course I haven't. I don't actually know if this welder will run a flex core. I know you turn the fine control all the way to the max and then it should have enough power. And if it doesn't run the flux core, then I got my stick lead extension, which will do just fine. Sure would be sad if this welder didn't fire up right now. Guess she needs the choke. This sure beats welding in that parking lot, I'll say that. I like it out here. Yeah, it doesn't even skip a beat. But everything works. Just add some paint and build a hitch plate. Well, now I'm getting rained the out, so instead of welding the winch mount on my bumper, I'm installing this vise, which is definitely the Harbor Freight special. And to anyone out there that's a vise collector, you can f off. Like, if you're one of those that drives up the prices on old vices, so what do you do with them? Just have them sit in your shop, like 5 vices? Like, what? Alright, there you go. Vise. Boom. Done. It's the next day, and it's already pretty late because I got a bunch of other shit that I also like doing that doesn't involve wrenching on trucks by myself. And so this whole thing is actually a really low priority on the list of things that I do. So it's already late. And I got this drill press right here for free. Which is pretty nice. Well, not the drill press, but getting it for free. It's gonna do just fine until I get a mag though. Look, it's even creating like a vortex in the back of it. I'm just doing that aerodynamic testing right now. And I think the verdict is that OBS Fords with a flatbed on them are just the mintiest trucks you can build up to be, come on, to be service trucks. This is just, I love this truck. Like, it just, I know Cummins are the better motor, sure. Like, I actually know that because there's way less wiring on them. This, that, and the other, but man, power strokes are just so much fun. You know, I keep complaining about not having any bolts, but it doesn't help. I'm still not getting more bolts. Oh, I know. I'll make a Patreon so I can buy some bolts. How about that? Are these the same length? Yeah. Alright, that's on there for now. Obviously it looks ridiculous, but I don't have a mag drill yet. I don't feel like spending that kind of money yet, so this will do. Let's see if it works. I'm kidding, I'm not that stunned. I know this looks hard, but it's only temporary. I'm gonna get a mag drill, and it's a Harbor Freight vise, so everything from Harbor Freight is temporary. Alright, now, to avoid that my welder, which I love dearly, gets hit with a bunch of filings from drilling, I'm gonna build just a little flap in between there. She gets grinded on enough in a way she doesn't like, and so I feel like I owe her at least that. I'm telling you, it really hurts to cut this up. This is like vintage mud flap stuff right there. These came off this bed. For all kinds of minty shit done with this. I don't even, the first truck this was ever put on, I don't know. Probably pretty awesome. The second truck was some 2000s Ford, which of course blew a motor because it's 4, so less awesome. And the third truck obviously is a disaster. Should be able to just flip it right back over. There you go. Alright, had to make one last modification, which is this little flap right here, because I'm pretty sure this thing pulls air through there and then blows it out back there somewhere for cooling. And so this flap sometimes would kind of get stuck over that cooling inlet, which I'm not overheating this welder. I like this welder. Now I can hopefully build the alright, I'll get the right size wrench. Right, how about now? You just stand there and this thing does all the work. Definitely, you're definitely getting the cover. So that's actually pretty good. So the drill bits were kind of wandering, but guess I got lucky because that fits just fine. See, the problem though with having all this really nice equipment and stuff is, who do I blame the on? What do I blame the on? Because now, when these wells inevitably turn out like absolute dog shit, who do I blame? I can't be like, oh, I didn't prep this right, because I mean, that's a pretty decent prep job right there. It's only like 10% rust. Some of those wells don't even look that shitty. Last time I checked, these holes were still lining up, and they still are, which is nice. It looks like I don't have to do any clearancing. Yeah. There's 6 3/4. Oh, they're 9 3/4. I read the 9 as a 6. You would think that at some point you'd be able to look, read a tape measure in a carpenter's square. But no. So, winch ain't getting mounted today. I'm just done. I want to do other shit. I'm not going to spend all day by myself wrenching on a truck. Can do that when I'm 60. Alright, both the winch and the crane are hooked up to this little twisty switch there. Works just fine. So that, when this inevitably rubs through against the rudder or whatever, or when the really, really, really shitty wiring in the crane shorts out, as long as I got that switch turned off, it's not really a problem while I'm on the road. These boxes in the bumper are just 10 out of 10. Just fit everything in there. I want to build a little basket for underneath this so I can store a bunch of stuff around the winch. So, when I forget that stuff's there, I can just run the winch and pull everything in there and just shred it. And I'm going to build a cover for it. Alright, there you go. That's the plan right there. I know this is pretty ridiculous, cutting it out of this shit and welding it back together, but it's what I got right now. Beautiful place to work though. I can get used to this. there you go. Got myself a cute little rubber flap that goes under there and protects the switch so that doesn't get soaked, because I don't trust that to be waterproof. And it's probably strong enough to stand on, so I can still work on everything. And it looks pretty god awful, but that's just, I mean, look at this thing. Last thing, put some expanded metal in there so I can use this as storage for my recovery stuff. Using that Chinesium snatch block is definitely going to be a disaster. That's fine. See, that's how you want to test your crane mount, is with yourself on it. I want to use this thing for absolutely nothing productive. I'm just going to build bigger and stupider shit. There you go. That's pretty much it. Truck's done.